here at TonyBasilio.com.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340.
Let's go.
WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville. Fanrun Radio.
TB in the house. Matt Diskin's going to be covering. I had him doing double duty in the blog today. Because in my alleged mind, I thought the Vols play today, but they play tomorrow in hoops. But Tennessee's in action today in baseball. Matt Diskin, am I imagining things, or was it for absolutely brutally cold right up till baseball season started? And God smiled right on the mighty Gators, as Steve Spurrier used to say.
Yeah, we hadn't had very good weather for about a month, and
yeah,
I mean it's about a perfect day Friday afternoon for the season opener. Couldn't have asked for better weather, and the fans turned out.
Oh, and today, Matt, we get to see one of the great, maybe, transfers in the history of the school in any sport. This kid's going to be insane this year, isn't he, Matt? What kind of pitcher is he? Blaine Brown.
I think he actually pitched against Tennessee in one of that tournament in Houston last year and didn't do very well. Mm-hmm. But got the mid to upper 90s fastball, which is always plays as a lefty arm. So I'm really curious how they approach him. If as a legitimate two-way guy, because you're not taking his bat out of the lineup based on that first weekend.
Berkey thinks
pretty incredible.
Berkey thinks he's the college Ohtani, though.
2.0, yeah.
Who did Berkey used to call the college
Jack Caglione from Florida,
who went on and was pretty good in the major leagues, right, last year?
I don't think he's made the majors yet.
Oh, that's right, Berkey. The college Ohtani, Berkey.
Yeah, he made the majors. He just didn't. I don't think he really showed out yet.
He's not a pitcher anymore.
Berkey, I love you. Berkey, I love you. Baseman. I love you, Berkey. But, man, you have a way of hyperbole and blowing things out of and blowing things out of proportion. And Berkey, you're a clown. All right,
Tony,
let's get to it. We have a lot to talk about today.
Tony, you're accusing somebody of using hyperbole.
Yeah, sure am.
I have to apologize to you, Tony. I'll do it on air because I was driving over here and we were talking and about personal type stuff and humanity, and I was saying, I need to do a better job of looking for the
good in people.
And you said, what do you think of me?
Well, I said, what do you see in me? Since you're looking for the good in people now.
No, you said, what do you think of me?
Because you're turning over a new leaf. You're looking for the good. You were talking about it.
And you said, what do you think of me?
And what did you say?
Nut job. I just blurted it out. I mean, it just popped into my head. And then you said, okay, I'll see you in a minute, and hung up. I laughed so much, I'll laugh the rest of the way driving over here.
So here we are, live in the Rainier studio. Adams has already been popped by me today. He'll pop me before the day's over. Tony Vitello, I got to admit, Matt, he popped me. Matt, what is Vitello? Because I got to talk to John about just dealing with people in the media. And what in San Francisco must be going through their alleged mind. Here's a guy, it's a major league manager. Okay? First of its kind. And Vitello basically introduces this and begins the day, Matt, looking at this woman and saying the following. When do you first remember that I was taking this job? Do you remember that far back? And the reporter answered, this is like a press gaggle. This is the beginning of spring training. Everybody's reporting. This is supposed to be an everybody's undefeated day, a perfunctory deal. So-and-so looks good. I want to get a look at these kids. A lot of people are going to play, yada, yada, yada. And what's Vitello doing? He's literally, when did he leave? Do you guys remember? When was that? What month was that?
October, wasn't it?
Was it really?
I thought it was the week of the Kentucky game.
Okay.
Before they played Kentucky.
That was October.
Late October.
He says the reporter answered about 4 or 5 days before it actually happened, maybe 5 days. And Vitello goes, yeah, it's funny you'd say that because that was not reality, at all. I don't know if Buster would feel the same way, but that wasn't the case. Somebody decides they think they got information. The final blow was about 4 days later, and the thing I'm having a conversation, therapy, if you will. Walking out there, I needed confirmation from the coaches that I worked with who helped boost my status that they were okay with what was going on and it's going to be okay with the job, and so he goes on with the same reporter, that staff that has always been built as next man up. And then all of a sudden, all that was being threatened. It was kind of hard to do something yourself and your teammates get left behind. But yeah, it was not in 4 days for what it's worth. That was not the case at all. If you would have seen me in that condo, you would have agreed. Another reporter then asked him why he asked that question, which led to Vitello saying the following. Because if someone tweeted it out, and I don't know who told them, but I wished I did, it might have changed the course of history if I did. Now, Tony, I love you. What are you, Martin Luther King? Change the course of history?
I know. I read that and I thought it's like JFK assassination or something.
I mean, what are we doing?
But this is so Tony. I mean, Tony says what's on his mind.
What is this guy doing? And then he goes on to say, but it just bothers me because I don't know. I hate to get psychosocial, whatever that means. But you see people angry on the streets for a lot of stuff that a lot of time isn't true. Huh? And then he goes on to say, people arguing and you don't know what reality is. I did a damn good job keeping that away from our team, our recruiting. And it was not a distraction. And then all of a sudden we're in the middle of practice and I see our first and third base coach freaking out and they freaked out on me. And for no reason, because at that point, nothing was going to happen. But somebody decided it was going to happen. And then the world starts spinning real quick. And I had to address the team and the people. Either that, with me leaving, was a distraction. Those guys are SEC athletes. It wasn't a distraction. We deal with years that we thought we might take a job or we were offered a job, and I'd meet with the guys in the office and they'd be like, Coach, we don't care. The guys care about the guys when the season's going on, but hopefully they love the coaches. That thing was never a distraction. They got talent. They got good kids, so they'll be just fine. But that was not a fun Saturday. It affected the next few days. Sorry to rain on your parade, but great organization, great people to work with, and a great challenge. So they didn't say no. What? First of all, Tony looked so despondent in that video, so miserable already. Why is he trying something from October at the beginning of spring training? And if you're in the Giants organization, John, how concerned are you about that?
Well, you would be concerned because this is an introductory, for some people, an introductory meeting for a new era of Giants baseball. This is the major leagues. And for a coach to be talking about the college team that he coached just seems like what? Why is he talking? What? Yeah, and I'm sure it blindsided the media because they're just trying to figure it out. Why is he saying this? Like the question. But Tony is he expresses himself. He's not afraid to say things. We know that from dealing with him here, and that's why it was so great to deal with. He doesn't self-edit. He doesn't self-edit. If he's thinking about something, he just throws it out there. I love dealing with the guy. He's great, and he's has great people skills, but he's never been in. He's thinking about how important this is to him, and his legacy at Tennessee is very important to him. I mean, that's where he made it big. That's where he became a major league manager. If not for Tennessee, he wouldn't be a major league. So that's all important to him, and the people are important to him, his coaches, his players. He thinks about all these kind of things.
You know what it reminds me of? That Glenn Campbell song, Country Boy. Country Boy, you got your feet in San Fran, but your heart and your mind's on Tennessee. That's what he's doing. Matt, could it be that he sat there and watched those guys in that new ballpark? Because he was looking at it and thinking, damn it, I got tricked into taking this job. That's what it feels like, which is a really stupid and myopic thing for me to say. To act like Major League Baseball, the San Francisco job, like the Tennessee baseball job would compare to that. But that is so strange that he's accusing somebody of leaking that story, thus putting him into a corner. So he had to take the Giants job. That's what he's saying, Matt. Is that not the strangest? This place is really weird. That's one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. I'm sorry. That's just bizarre.
No, I mean, it was an odd thing to do, but Vitello is really unique, and he's kind of a one-of-one guy and coach, really. So I just kind of think he was just kind of said what was on his mind right then, and for whatever reason, that's what he wanted to bring up and talk about. So he was out there fielding ground balls and spring training, and which is I don't think any other managers do stuff like that either. So
that was unlike any opening season press conference you'll ever hear in Major League Baseball, because he's talking about something that happened like October. October's a World Series. October is the Dodgers month. That's the Giants' big rivalry. And so imagine, I wonder what the Dodgers organization thought about that. I mean, these teams are in the same division. They have this great history going back to New York together. And they're saying, okay, this is the guy we're competing against. I mean, the Dodgers are like the franchise in sports right now. And here's the manager of the Giants, their competition, talking about his days in college baseball. They can't even relate to that. I wonder what his players thought about it, because this is a time. I mean, think the story, and I wouldn't have been surprised if Vitello would have said this. He says, address that rivalry in this press conference and say, yeah, the Dodgers are number one.
It would have made more sense.
The Dodgers are number. We're coming after him.
If it would have,
because that fits his personality. He's going to take that challenge. He's going after the Dodgers.
You're the columnist in that town, okay? And a guy just said, if somebody in this organization leaked that I was taking this job, I would have stayed at Tennessee. What would you have written the next day? Because that's what he said. And you guys know I love Tony, and I love him because he's kind of wacky. That's wackier than wacky. That's insane. That's not the way to start your tenure with the San Francisco Giants. That's like coming out there and saying, I am now a hostage. I am miserable AF here, and I need somebody to get me out of here. Can I please have my old job back?
Comparables when Rick Barnes said that he would have been gone had UCLA got his buyout money. It's sort of similar to that.
Brian, that's a good stick. Things you just don't say into a microphone to a fan base. That's one of them.
Well, imagine you might, I don't know if you remember this. This is going way back 45 years or so. Notre Dame hired Jerry Faust as its coach.
Yeah.
He was a dominant high school coach at Cincinnati Moeller.
Yeah.
I mean, but Notre Dame hiring a high school coach? What if Jerry Faust in his introductory press conference started talking about Cincinnati Moeller and how great it was and how he didn't like the way the story leaked that he was leaving Moeller? That's kind of what you would have had.
Here's the reality, too. He's already a college coach that has to prove himself, and he has zero credibility with those people in that locker room. And I love Tony, but he knows this. How in the world do you get credibility trying when something leaked 6 months later? What are you doing, Tony?
Okay, but here's something else to think about. As Matt said, Tony's one of one. Everybody's he's so different in his approach.
Yeah.
But Tony connects with people, and he has a great ability to do that.
Yeah.
And he will do that with those players. That they will see after they've been around Tony a while, they will have more clarity with what he said. They realize, well, this guy just says what he thinks. This guy speaks from the heart. I think he will connect with players, even at the major league level. He connects with people in general.
Yeah.
And even though as odd as his press conference was, I don't think it will affect him. I think he is going to connect with players there. Now, administrative types, they're probably shaking their head because some administrative types don't get that kind of human approach to stuff, the speaking from the heart type stuff.
No, Buster Posey's going to manage him. Danny White never managed Tony. Danny let him run amok. It's what Tony got used to doing. Tony was more powerful than anybody over there. Tony was kind of the show at UT. I think he was the biggest personality might have been the biggest sports personality in the state when he was here, John.
I think he was the biggest sports personality since now Bruce Pearl was pretty big in his time.
Yeah.
And I think, Bruce, Tony, there were similarities there. Yeah. And then you go back to Pat Summitt. Tennessee has had some big personalities.
Oh, yeah.
When you think about it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you've had so much turnover over a period of time now with so many different coaches coming in and out, mediocre results, that kind of thing, that you don't think about that because, the Butch Joneses, Jeremy Pruitt, and all these people that just wandered through here. But
when I got here, Majors was he was a huge personality.
He was.
But he was also a guy that split people because he was he had a I don't care thing about him, too. He was like, I'm a big star. Yeah. I was like the Heisman Trophy winner. Everybody knows I won it, even though I didn't. I'm from the first family of this deal, right? And that's how he carried himself. He sort of Majors kind of carried himself like he was a boxing champion. Like, I still got the belt. I've got an aura about me.
And you know what?
Yeah.
I think he projected that image, and I think people bought into it. And yes. I think that's why he was able to, because his opening act was horrible. Tennessee's really struggled. It was a time of great transition, the recruiting of black athletes and all. It was very different. But I think people believed in Johnny Majors in part because they saw how he believed in himself. And granted, he had just won a national title at Pittsburgh. And so his confidence was not shaken by that struggling start. I mean, he was a big deal. Think about it. And even going further back, and a lot of people couldn't relate to this now, but Ray Mears.
Yep.
Ray Mears was a big personality. And so Tennessee has had more than its share of these types. I mean, Bruce Pearl he took this town by storm, what he did with Tennessee basketball. People don't remember because Tennessee's had long-term success. But then the epic turnaround was Tony. And Tony, he carried himself too like Yeah, I'm the guy. Oh. But he didn't relate to people that way. Mm-mm. He related to people the way Pat Summitt did, one-on-one, and that was such an endearing quality. So he's fascinating. He's a fascinating person, and one of the really, when you look at all the sports you deal with, and not just here. I mean, I've been around it.
It's very unique.
I could, conversations I had with him. Mm-hmm. I can't remember any other coach, just a couple that I could have really talked to. When I interviewed him, it was like a conversation.
Very unique. And he would tell you exactly what was on his mind.
Yeah. But
privately.
Yeah. But see, I think when he gets those Giants players, when he talks to them, when they meet with him one-on-one, there's a connection.
No way. He's a college coach to them. No way.
I disagree.
I disagree. I think
there's still people.
He looked totally miserable yesterday. He's going to be a short-term guy in that deal. He looked like he's in a hostage video, and I love him. I don't know what he's trying to do. If I was talking to him today, hey, what'd you think of that? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to get run off from there? I mean, what are you doing? You got the job. You took the job. You got the job. What are you doing? I mean, that's my question.
Okay.
I'm 100% for. What are you doing? If you were writing in that town today, you would have written, what is this guy doing? Why were you even talking about that? Well, I'm here to talk about the Giants, not the University of Tennessee. That's a small pond. Nobody freaking cares about
in San Francisco
and the University of Tennessee. We don't even know what orange is. What are you doing, man? Who leaked the story? You took the job. Nobody twisted your arm to take the job. And I love the guy.
Odd. I flipped the Tony Bennett song. I left my heart in San Francisco.
There you go.
San Francisco's new coach left his heart in Knoxville, Tennessee.
There you go.
That'd be my lead.
Country boy.
Then he takes two of his better staff members with him as if this is the place you want to be, the Major League, San Francisco. Frank Anderson, Q, come out with me.
Yep. And then
which also doesn't add up.
What are they thinking? They're watching that thing yesterday and they're going, they've got to be behind the scenes going, Tony, what are you doing? Time and place. If you want to pull that lady aside and say, hey, let me ask you something. Now coaches do that all the time. Coaches are mad at you. Sure. I've gotten calls. You've gotten calls. Or you say something on the radio, whatever. They're mad at you. Hey, Tony, who told you that? And then you go, I'm not telling you that. I don't know what you're talking about.
And see, baseball is different from other sports. It's such a fraternal thing.
Yeah.
And you're in baseball, it's like a part of a giant family. No pun intended. But it's part of a big family. Even the beat reporters that cover major league teams, I mean, that's their life. It's so all-consuming. And so I think so you're right. I think you can go to somebody because it's like we're in the same family.
Yeah.
And I didn't like what you said in that press conference or what you wrote in that story or what you said on the air, but because you follow, it's almost like everybody that covers baseball on a daily basis is kind of in love with the sport.
Uh-huh.
And so you say, why did you write that? You have that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't say it at a press conference.
Because a beat reporter, here's the other thing. A beat reporter is not going to report everything they know. They can't. And you'd lose your job. And so there's a line there, and you kind of walk that line. But when it's time to break a hard news story, somebody gets arrested for whatever.
Sure, you've got to do that.
You got to do your job, and those people all understand that. But this, and that's why I wanted to talk to John about this, because it's an interesting look-see into the way sports are shaped. Because what they're starting to do in the collegiate level is they're starting to take things in-house. I think you're going to see a day where they quit allowing press to come in, and they just disseminate what they disseminate. The Danny Whites of the world, they want to do it that way. They want to control their own information. They're telling people that. They want to control their own deal, and it's what they want to do.
And that's not just at Tennessee.
It's everywhere.
That's everywhere.
Yeah.
For example, Florida, University of Florida. Chris Harry, good friend of mine, started out, first big job, I guess, was the Gainesville Sun. We have Kevin Brockway on here from time to time.
Yeah.
Kevin's kind of the Florida guy now. They covering. He's very knowledgeable about it. Chris Harry covered the Spurrier area. He goes on to cover his works at Orlando Sentinel, covers Tampa Bay football, covers the NFL, and then he ends up back in Gainesville writing for Florida, the University of Florida's website. He's a very talented writer, very good, and I can see other programs doing that because they will give Chris access that other people don't have. They will get him a one-on-one with the quarterback.
What's University of Georgia doing? They're charging a paid tier now where if you pay this money, you can watch practice. Fans, you get like this access to all this stuff. That's the new. And if they can, they'll take the Adam Sparkses and they'll pull them right out of there and eradicate them if they can get away with that.
Well, I mean,
that's where we're going.
And the way they can eradicate them is they can hire them. I mean, you go back.
That's a great idea.
Even in the NFL, the teams have. Andrew Gribble was a reporter here.
I remember Andrew?
Yeah, very smart guy, very good writer, good reporter.
Yep.
He's been writing for years now for the Cleveland Browns website.
Wow.
And I had a friend way back.
Talk about sports purgatory.
Well, yeah, I mean he's got to use a light touch. It's a different form, but the fact is he's very talented, and so you can write stories that don't sound like a press release. You can do human stories, you can do feature profiles and things like that. But to do that kind of story, you've got to have access. You can't go to a press conference and ask a couple of questions. You've got to have this kind of access, and the schools can give it because the schools now look at this as their product. It's the money-making product, and what's best for our business. So you're right.
So the one thing I want to. So we'll talk about. I just want to get the Tony thing out of the way in the A block because I don't understand what he was doing yesterday, and it's one of the strangest things I've ever seen. And people accuse me of being, you're Tony Sheep, and you. Look, I said what I said about that whole thing when it went down because it was the truth, and he really wasn't. He didn't have a relationship with his AD, so he was never really coached. Because AD should coach these guys. They should be like, hey, it's kind of like the Kim Caldwell thing, like what she said about her team. You should sit down with her next week, which Danny White, I understand, didn't do. But you should sit down with her and say, hey, you can't say things like that. And I'm going to be I'm your boss here. And go ahead.
Well, I'm just thinking Vic Schaefer at Texas did the same thing.
Yeah, I know. They're all doing it.
But there's a difference. Because Vic Schaefer's been coaching for however long. He's been to a bunch of Final Fours, almost won a national title at Mississippi State. And he can say those kind of things. Kim Caldwell hasn't really proved herself at this level. It's different. But her team, I thought, responded to what she said. I don't want to get back on
you're
that
exactly
tangent,
right. No, you're exactly right.
And
so Griff will be here in hour 2. We'll talk about that. Matt, we had a discussion yesterday about just the viability of doing a show after each and every basketball game and me reassessing that in a real honest way. And people were saying that, you're negative on here, Matt, which I've never thought of you being negative because you say you give your opinion that this team is flawed and they have a ceiling. But I want you to respond to that when we come back on the other side at 865-200-5402. Marky Mark and the Lunchy Bunch will be by. I also want to talk about, I can't believe I'm saying this. I really cannot believe I'm saying this. The Big 12, the Big 20, whatever they are, the Big Ten, that's 18 teams. The Big 18, I think they have a pretty good playoff idea with the 2014 playoff. I think it's better than what we currently have, and we'll discuss it. Because really, it's not far off from what we currently have. We'll talk about it as we continue on the other side after this. When it's time for your next move, you want to get your precious belongings from point A to point B with your peace of mind intact. That's why you need to call my friends at Gufon Moving and Storage, East Tennessee's moving legend. Gufon Moving and Storage has been helping East Tennesseans move since 1887. That's 138 years, 5 generations. That's even longer than the Dooley, Jones, and Pruitt era combined. Gufon Moving and Storage, pro movers, serving Knoxville, surrounding areas, and interstate moves too, both residential and commercial. And we'll provide you with personalized service that other corporate movers simply cannot. We know how to move all types of items. We pay careful attention to our clients' valuables. Your satisfaction as a customer is our absolute priority. As the oldest continually owned and operated family moving business in the United States, when it's time for your next move, it's Gufon Moving and Storage. And storage, it's secure and vaulted. Our newest offering of commercial storage logistics, we offer receiving, storage, and delivery services for all your business logistic needs. See more at Gufon.com. That's Gufon.com. Or check out the link at tclub.team. When it's time for your next move, East Tennessee's moving legend, Gufon Moving and Storage. Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires. Just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776. Or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Cold weather is here. Is your heating system ready and running efficiently? Don't wait to find out. A simple tune-up now can help prevent costly breakdowns when you need your heat the most. Right now, Pipe Wrench is offering a $79 heating system tune-up to keep your home warm, safe, and worry-free all winter long. Our certified technicians inspect, clean, and fine-tune every part of your heating system for maximum efficiency and comfort, helping you avoid surprise breakdowns and high energy bills. And with Pipe Wrench Home Service's same-day service guarantee, you won't be left out in the cold waiting for help. Your comfort isn't just our job, it's our promise. Schedule your $79 heating system tune-up today at pipewrench.com before winter decides to test your heater. Pipe Wrench Home Services, trusted in Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and neighboring communities for over 20 years. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free. For standard systems only, visit pipewrench.com for details.
TB here with Alan of WeShipFloors.com. Tell them about it, Alan.
Hey, I'm Alan from WeShipFloors.com. Our competition's prices, well, they're going up. Ours are coming down. Our waterproof floor Supercore is the best, and right now it starts at $199 a square foot. Our warehouses are full of 4mm, 6mm, and 8mm. You strapped for cash? Well, we have our own in-house financing. Use our room visualizer and order some free samples today. Supercore from WeShipFloors.com. Best products at best price.
Like Alan said, head over to WeShipFloors.com. Use the room visualizer on the website. Drop in any of the 120 Supercore floors virtually into your room and order your free samples today. WeShipFloors.com. Tennesseans, they are us. The best product, the best price. WeShipFloors.com. Living Vol fan, when it's time to get ready for 2026 and what's ahead, there's only one place. It's Alumni Hall, the best and largest selection of Tennessee apparel for the whole family. Top brands, Nike, Champion, Columbia, Peter Millar. And check this out. All the basketball stuff that the Tennessee basketball fan could ever need. Some great Tennessee baseball stuff as well. Any season, any reason. Alumni Hall, 3 locations in Knoxville. Also Murfreesboro, Bristol, and now open, of course, in Johnson City. And anytime online, alumnihall.com. Say it loud, say it proud. The ultimate volunteer shopping experience. Alumni Hall. Score a TD every time with T3 Vodka. T3 is Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka is taking the volunteer state by storm. T3 Vodka, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. Filtered 10 times and 80 proof. T3 Vodka delivers a smoothness that's unmatched. This dedication to excellence has already earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka and the 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat or on the rocks or mixing up your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka is your choice for a premium, award-winning experience. Score a T3 TD and ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right, drink T3 Vodka, and score a touchdown every time. T3, Tennessee's premium vodka. Please drink responsibly. TB back with you, 865-200-5402. John with a really good point. Tennessee adds Penn State's DB coach. It's official now. They've got a defensive line coach from there. They've got the coordinator from there. They've got the linebackers coach from there. Is there one more, or is that 3?
They've got 4, I think.
4?
Yeah. It's Penn State defense.
Yep.
Nittany Lions.
Along with like 5 former players from Penn State as well. So away you go.
Nico probably said, is there any way we can schedule Tennessee now?
Oh, yeah. Whatever. I'd take Nico in the squared circle right now.
42 points.
Matt, what's going to happen in the Joey Aguilar thing? I want your honest expert legal opinion, and then I'm going to talk about this playoff deal.
I think he'll probably be granted I think he's going to be Tennessee's quarterback next fall or this fall.
John,
I think he's going to get it.
Does it happen today, John, while we're on the air? Some people are saying it's going to happen right away.
I think it will. Yeah, I think.
Really?
Yes. Because the judge said, what's the point of prolonging this?
And, well, if you're a Vol fan, you want to wait about 6 weeks.
They're not doing that.
Because that way the NCAA gets very little time to
they'll
kick it up and appeal.
No matter when this decision comes out, I think they'll be able to tie this thing up in court. Todd, the wheels of justice turn very slowly.
That's what Marchios was saying.
And, I think Aguilar will be Tennessee's quarterback. And you know what? I guess Blake Topmeyer and I were talking about this on our SEC podcast. you look at this two ways. This seems kind of absurd to have a 25-year-old guy playing quarterback. These guys not leaving, and the NCAA always losing in court. And this, but in terms of just watching the games, Trinidad Chambliss, Ole Miss's quarterback, I thought was one of the most fun players to watch in college football last year.
And he's an old guy, to your point.
Yeah, and he's coming back.
Yeah.
And what it accentuates now is the value of experience and also age. The human brain isn't fully developed till about 25. Yeah. You were an idiot at 24, Tony. And look how bright you are now.
It's interesting you talk about what you talk about, because we were talking about Stephen Pearl yesterday and how we kind of joke about how when he was here, he was kind of an unlikable kind of kid. But now he's a man, and we still judge him for what he did when he was a kid, and it's really not fair to him, because it's true. Like if I was to look at John Adams at the age of 18, and that that follows you all through life, that's not fair to John Adams.
But I was kind of an exception, though. Go ahead, let's move on. But Trinidad Chambliss, I love that watching that guy play. I mean, look what he did. I mean, he's the great example of how one guy a quarterback can just lift a program. And Joey Aguilar can't do what he did, but I think Tennessee will be so much better with him back at quarterback. I know you don't agree. And so I think that's the 24-year-old Tony thinking.
Hey, Matt, does Trinidad Chambliss and Aguilar, right? It's two ways of looking at it from my perspective, because, yeah, John's right, but really they're taking opportunities from younger people. That's going to be Matt, that's the drawback to the sport. But it does make the sport better.
But make
the sport better.
In the long run, it could help the younger person because he will have more time to develop. Physically, too. God, my voice almost went up to a higher pitch. What's going on there? When you think about it, some of these guys that go into the NFL, they're not just not ready mentally. They had a couple more years build up body armor, muscle.
What do you think, Matt Dixon? Good thing, bad thing? These veteran guys hanging on. Because really, they're hanging on for a paycheck. That's what they're doing. I don't blame them.
Well, yeah.
I mean, overall, I don't think you need to be, in college playing football for 6 or 7 years, regardless of whether it was a JUCO or wherever, or in red shirts. Like there should be a limit. And you need that. Like, I think it's silly that all these guys are doing it.
Yep.
But if somebody else is doing it, you need to take advantage too. I mean, nobody was saying all this about Pavia last year when he was, doing all that he did and finishing second for the Heisman. Nobody was saying he took an opportunity away from somebody. It was Vandy took advantage of what the rules are, or the lack of rules and guardrails right now. So, if you're Tennessee, if you're Ole Miss, anybody is, if you can do that and do it through court, take advantage and try to win. Ole Miss is a legitimate playoff contender with Trinidad Chambliss, and I'm not sure they're even a bowl team without him.
I agree with
kind of like Pavia last year.
I agree with that.
There goes my voice. If you took Pavia off this team, off last year's Vanderbilt team, what's our record? And you just inserted like a replacement level player. Yeah, I think that's right, Matt.
Yeah, and
he had a 5.
It's not 5-win. It's not the old Vanderbilt, but it's close. You could make a strong argument that nobody in SEC football history did as much for a program as Diego Pavia did. And I tell you what, I look at it very selfishly.
Yeah.
Like with Trinidad Chambliss. Man, I like that guy watching. I like watching that guy play. all the quarterbacks Ole Miss has had through the years, some really good ones. Jackson Dart was great. Matt Corral was good. Going way back there, but Eli Manning. But Trinidad Chambliss, more than any of them, reminds me of Archie Manning. He had that ability to just lift up a team. Chambliss can scramble.
Oh, yeah.
He can throw on the
nice
run.
Player.
Yeah, and he's got that. He's just got those football instincts. Guy came out of nowhere. But you know what? I would be fine if Diego Pavia played at Vanderbilt for 10 years.
So,
did you hear me?
Somebody said that we're wrong about this Derek Jones guy. He never coached at Penn State. I got that from you. I'm sorry.
No,
you're throwing me under the bus.
No.
Where'd he coach?
He coached at Virginia Tech.
Oh.
But he coached with the defensive coordinator at Penn State. It's the same system.
Where'd he coach with him? At Ohio State or?
There's a connection there.
I'm just trying to think about what we're doing here.
No, I'm
trusting you.
No,
all right, let's go. So we
it's your show. It's your show. You're responsible for the content.
That's true.
Okay,
that's true. Let's go back. One other thing. Jay Bird says veterans taking spots from young guys is the nature of pro sports, which is what college football is now. Actually, no, it's not. In college sports, it's young players taking jobs from veteran players who become too expensive. You kind of got that wrong. What these coaches are doing, though, is, like John said, I know that a 25-year-old man is going to beat an 18-year-old or a 19-year-old at the point of attack in the sport of football. So a Pavia out there running around at the age of 25 is going to run over a 19-year-old. So, Jay Bird, you're kind of close, except you're exactly kind of bass-ackwards there, buddy. But you're close.
Do you really think you should admonish your listeners that way?
Well, I mean, I just had a guy tell me I'm always wrong, this thing about Jones and, so.
Well, you do need to guard your content probably a little more carefully.
2014 proposal. I want to get into this, and we'll talk about it later on. I think this is a better system than what we currently have. What do we currently have? We have a 12-team system where we expose the best teams at the end of the year with frivolous playoff games, which are conference championship games that make absolutely zero sense, that are just money grabs and a complete waste of time. The 2014 playoff would be top 8 teams receive buys. So there's actually a incentive for having a great season. But unlike the current system where the top 4 teams don't get to host a home playoff game, under this system, everybody gets a playoff game. The first round, the first top 8 sit out. The other 16 play each other. So you have 8 playoff games. Then we turn around and those 8 winners will then play at the houses of the hosts. That makes total sense to me, John.
It's too many teams, and I don't like the bye system. I want everybody playing. We've seen teams that get a bye end up getting penalized for it because they're not on point as well. I think that's just too many games. I agree that to me, 16 teams, no buys, no conference championship games. The conference championships games are ridiculous because it's like an exhibition game. When you say, well, Alabama won't be penalized for losing a conference championship game. Well, it did get penalized because it had to play Indiana.
Hey, Dixon and Bry, here's the format. 24 teams. Top 8 teams get buys. No conference championship games. Already gone. That, as soon as the season ends, the next week we're playing expanded field on-campus playoff games. It's a 23+1 model, which means 23 teams come out of the real leagues. We still give the Crip Leagues 1 team. 23 best teams are guaranteed a spot in the and then the group of 6 now. There's a group of 6 because we're going to have this newly reconfigured thing that's going on in the West Coast. Now we've got a group of 6. Schedule opens the second weekend of December. 8 on-campus first-round games. Quarterfinals or semifinals are played at bowl sites. Alternative. Proposals suggest a transition to a 16-team model for 27-28, featuring 5 automatic qualifiers, 11 at-large berths, and then you play it off from there. Do you like that one, John? A 16-team model.
I don't want the automatic qualifiers. I want all teams at large now. I think that's the best. I'm looking to get the best teams in the playoffs. But what we're seeing here, the way this whole thing is set up, it's all about the SEC and the Big Ten. And the ACC and the Big 12 are just kind of off to the side. But the SEC, they have to both sign off on this. And they don't think about what's best for the sport.
No.
They think about what's best for their league. To that point, with the Big Ten, I did this Big Ten SEC Top 25 poll every week during football season. And what you have, Big Ten strong at the top. So with a 12-team playoff, it's going to get three teams in. It's top teams. SEC stronger at the middle. So that would help it in a 16-team playoff. But then the Big Ten comes in later with more teams. So that's why they want the 24-team playoff. I mean, if you put a 24-team playoff this year, you would have added a lot more Big Ten teams. You'd have added Washington, Iowa, think of some others.
Illinois, those type teams.
Yeah. So, but they just both think about what's best for them. But
I so abhor these conference championship games.
Oh, they're the worst.
I would give up. You can have your 24-team playoff if you can just do away with those. Matt and Bri, what do y'all think? If you'd make me choose the current format or what the Big Ten's proposing, I'd rather have what the Big Ten's proposing.
I don't like 24. I think that's a little bit too many. I want to cap it at 16, and I sort of want to do away with the conference championship games too. I don't know if that's eating cake and having it or whatever they say about it, but that's my thought.
Well, you got to choose one of those. You got to choose one, either what we're currently doing or what the Big Ten. So you'd rather have what we're currently doing then?
Yeah, I would. So I don't want 24.
We'll just keep the conference championship games then. Matt, what do you say?
Yeah, I'd prefer to keep it with 12. The 24 is way too many. That's basically the FCS model.
Yeah.
So, it's not like the Big Ten came up with this on their own. They're just copying the FCS model. The good side to that is you get home playoff games, which I'm for. I think the more games on campus, the better. I hate that the most important games of the season continue to get put away from campuses, and that is a disservice to college football. But 24 is way too many teams.
Everybody gets,
and you're not getting rid of the conference championship games like that. Like they're not going away. Like they have to figure out a way to make them matter, but they're not going to get rid of them because they make a lot of money, and that's the whole point of the playoffs is making money.
But the way I understand this, Matt, is they go to 24, they will eliminate them.
Yeah.
But imagine
if they go to 24, yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing: we say they would eliminate them. What if the SEC's counter proposal is, okay, we'll do the 24-team playoff, but we still want a conference championship games? SEC does not want to give up that game.
Oh, no. SEC was the first to do it. SEC is extremely proud of it. The game is antiquated. It makes no sense.
No, I mean,
both teams that play in that game are playing at the top of the sport every year. There will never be a year when both those teams are not at the top of the sport. And the championship games, I mean, the sad thing is we all still watch them, which is why they still have them, by the way. If people
people still go to them.
And if people tuned out and just if people just tuned out and treated them like they should be treated, they would quit playing them. By the way, Timothy McGee says the FCS has been doing a similar format for years and it's still good football. I agree with that. The problem, Timothy, thinking about it, is that the first round of the playoffs, Brian, and you and I have talked about, does really involve some kill games in the FCS. Now, I don't know if that would happen at this level. I don't know if there's that big a disparity in the major leagues up a level between the haves and the have-nots. I'd have to look at the modeling on that. I probably should have.
There's been blowouts in the playoffs the last couple of
years.
Yeah. Well, look at, Indiana versus Alabama. That's one of the worst beatings Alabama's ever absorbed. Indiana versus Oregon.
Second thought, I kind of like this format. Conference championship games suck. New model, come on. That's from Lieutenant Mark in Columbus. Come on. New model. Come on. Conference championship games suck. Yeah, conference championship games just offend me. So the concept of redundancy when you've already played your season and just greed for greed's sake.
It made sense when you had divisions.
Sure.
I don't want this play-in thing they've tossed around either. That 3 versus 6 playing for a spot.
You know
that's what your regular season is for.
You know what a 3 versus 6 model is that they were talking about in a 4 versus 5 model? That's a 2014 playoff. Because essentially what you're doing then is you're saying it's just reframing what it is, but that's really a 2014 playoff at that point.
Why does college football? It's such a great game. Why does it have to be so complicated off the field?
I don't know.
Good gosh.
And the politics of it. John and I were talking during a break. What this reminds me of is two political parties never going to admit that one has a good idea, always going to act in their own self-interest. Always, Greg Sankey's job is to not give a lick and bring all the money back to his district that he possibly can and not give an inch. And, you look at it, and we might be stuck at 12 for a while. If you look at those two proposals, because they're light years apart, unless the SEC gives in and says, yeah, you'll get 4, we get 4. And then we have some and if you really bet on and believe in your league from a 12-team format, 16, they're talking about a 16 with non-automatic qualifiers, right? Isn't that where the jam up is? Going to 16 and then not having the guaranteed qualifiers.
The SEC would be on board with that, and that is what I like that too. I mean,
but if you believe in your league, you get the 4 plus whatever you can get. You don't just stop there. So you have the 4 and the 4, so that equals 9. You add the other 2 leagues, that's 11. So like the other 3 or 4 spots, just off the top of my head, the other 3 or 4 spots are up for grabs among the other leagues. If your league's really good, you get a couple of those. I mean, aren't you back to where you wanted to be? I don't understand why we're at loggerheads here. Why not just give them the 4 guaranteed spots then? Because they're not going to get 4. Is that what you're saying?
No, I just think that it all should be at large. If it's all at large, the SEC will get at least 4 teams. The Big Ten will get at least 4 teams.
Well, then that's what they want. The Big Ten wants 4 guaranteed teams. That was the whole.
But it shouldn't be a guarantee. If there's a super team in the Big 12, I mean, the Big 12 could have 2 teams.
But they get at large teams. They'll still get at large. 4 and 4 is 8, 9. ACC gets 1, 10. Big 12 gets 1, 11. You still have 4 or 5 spots to play with there.
I'm really getting tired of talking about all these different things.
Yeah, I agree. Let's bring Mark Griffin in. We'll do that right after this.
Screw
that playoff. Screw college football.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340. WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville. Fanrun Radio.
It's the hottest post-game show on the planet. Garza Law. Fifth quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior, Walker's Painting's been making it beautiful since 1999 across the Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, residential, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard Walker's Painting on the Basilio Show, 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. Check out the ad at the blog at tclub.team. Walker's Painting.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm going to hop online and I'm going to get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
When a dangerous, overgrown, or storm-damaged tree is threatening your home, your car, or your family, don't risk it. Call ECR Total Landscapes, your local tree-cutting experts. From precision tree removal and trimming to emergency storm cleanup, ECR Total Landscapes has the equipment and the experience to get the job done safely and efficiently. Call today to set up your free estimate, 865-384-2012, or just go online to ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama Zizi approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and Zizi.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols.
Newsflash, Basilio listeners. The spring real estate market just moved up. Yes, it's chilly outside and you're still in your puffy coat, but if you need to sell your East Tennessee property, you could be the hottest house on the block. Hi there. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. February is the sweetheart month of real estate, and savvy sellers know exactly what that means. Get ahead of the game and give me a call at 865-694-5904 or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Yeehaw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
VIP Play coming soon. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 plus and located in Tennessee to bet.
Achillio here, and you know my friends at Carnes Motor Company started with a dream over a quarter century ago. I met Rob and Brian back when I still had hair. and they were working at a huge dealership in West Knoxville. But they told me back then they wanted to sell cars on their terms, and I wanted to do radio on my terms. Their terms, just like my terms, are ultimately your terms. In both cases, you're the winner. A Car Guru's national award winner with a 5-star rating on all sites, just like our Vols. Everything about buying a car from Carnes Motor Company is no hassle. They specialize in high-quality pre-owned vehicles between the $5,000 to $25,000 range. And if you need to sell a car, they'll either buy your car or they'll help you sell it. Carnes Motor Company also has a top-notch service department. Therefore, every vehicle is rigorously inspected and serviced prior to delivery. So you're guaranteed to get a quality pre-owned vehicle every time. If you need a place for service, they've got you covered. Come be a part of the Carnes Motor Company family and tell them you heard about it from me. Online at carnesmotor.com, Oak Ridge Highway, 1 mile past the Carnes light. Carnes Motor Company. TB back with you, 865-200-5402. If YouTube catches one word of that, I'll get zapped today. Says any YouTube creator anywhere. John was playing me a song there during the break. John, what was it?
Hills and Poverty.
Hills and Poverty by Tim Gooden.
As you can tell by the title, it's not a real upbeat song, but I like sad songs.
Well, Marky Mark and the Lunchy Bunch now commences our Tuesday edition with the great Mark Griffin. Matt Dixon, I would like you to speak on your own behalf here. You were accused by some of these miserables on YouTube, Les Miserables over on the YouTube chat. I brought up that I was almost feeling like, what's the term here? I was almost feeling like the post-game show is like outlived its usefulness, and we get around and we're whining and complaining every night after wins about a team that's going to win 22 or 23 games. And it was just my Ecclesiastes moment of my career. It's all vanity. So, Matt Dixon, what do you got to say for yourself? Because they said you are a Negaval in there as well.
Well, I love the post-game shows, and I don't want to do away with them at all. Enjoy doing them. They do have a negative tone a lot of times, unfortunately. But no, I just think that a lot of these post-game calling or just calling shows in general, it's a lot of negativity for whatever reason. The negatives always outweigh the positives in terms of callers and maybe in terms of just things to discuss throughout a game, because
should we not take as many calls?
Program to a high standard.
Should we have like Rick Barnes' post-game comments that we could get, run those, talk about that, analyze the game, talk about that, and not do phone calls?
But I think phone calls, the listeners, think about the listeners. Don't you think the listeners want to hear people call in?
Not if they're bitching about a 23-win basketball team all the time.
The problem with basketball is there's so many games, and one game just doesn't mean that much.
Yeah.
You can look, how bad did Tennessee beat Florida here last year by 20-something points? Florida won the national championship.
Yeah.
And beat Tennessee by 30 or so in Gainesville.
Or the Lady Vols beat that UConn team who the rest of the year just went out.
They hadn't lost since.
I'm sure if they trailed,
It's different in football because you have a football game and you pick it apart. You play in 12 regular season games. Good, bad. You go through everything. But with basketball, when you start breaking down one game, it just probably doesn't mean as much.
Griff, do you have a thought on why, like, this basketball team is just pushing so many people's buttons? As I bring you in, I want to kind of start there, because this basketball team, for whatever reason, is driving us nuts for some reason.
Well, the way I look at it, Tony, is it just shows fans care, and if they didn't care, you just wouldn't talk about it as much. And You want perfection, you're not going to have it. You want continued improvement. We've seen that in many areas. I think with basketball too, it's easier to dissect the game than it is football, especially for me. I watch a football game and I normally sit with a former Vol and I get him to explain like, hey, what's going on here with this defense? And it's not as easy as just a simple man-to-man versus zone. It's just, you just got, 5 guys on defense to watch versus multiple sets in football. And that's the best comparison I can give because I can't call in on a show and comment about Heupel's defense. I don't know what to look for. But with basketball, I think it's easier to critique and then play stops. It gives you time to kind of collect your thoughts and go, oh, this is what happened. So I just think it's easier to dissect for basketball fans. And I think Tennessee fans care and just, they want them to get to a Final Four. Let's admit it, Tony. And that how much longer is that window going to be open in Barnes' era? And if, I know you were addressed in a social media post that I read this morning. In the future, being a top 10, job opening down the road, we don't know what's going to happen down the road. So we have a sense of urgency now.
Yeah. Well, my point was industry people I talk to say this is easily a top 10 job. It's a desirable job. The guy at St. Louis wants this job. The guy at Texas A&M wants this job. There are a lot. It's not like the football job, which is a tough sell and tough sledding. This job is a monster job in its sport. And it's a monster job because you're in an area, first of all, you got a lot of money. Secondly, you make a lot of money. Thirdly, it's a job that's never been to a Final Four. So you can be that first guy. You can be that conquering hero. Fourthly, the fan base is huge. And I go back to the night that it snowed and 17,000 people showed up there. John, I've been around here 30 plus, I've never seen anything like that. Restaurants were closed all around the area. And Tennessee was so convinced that they were going to light crowd that they basically told a lot of the concessionaires to stay at home. And there were only a few concessions open in the place. And they had 17,000 or so people at the game, which is incredible.
Well, I mean, Tennessee, let's face it, Tennessee has a huge fan base. And it's in all sports. But and that speaks to the interest in your post-game show. I mean, I think you should keep doing it too. If it matters, as Mark said, that shows how much it matters. I remember covering a game at Rupp Arena years ago. The next morning, we're getting ready to return to Knoxville after the game.
Yeah.
And a Tennessee-Kentucky game. I was listening to a call-in show. One of the callers was breaking. He was ragging on the 11th guy for Kentucky. What he couldn't do, how he couldn't go to his left. The 11th guy on the team had trouble going to his left. That really had an impact. I mean, it just showed how much basketball there matters. They're analyzing everything, even a guy that at the very end of the bench. But I think Tennessee fans, I just think other than Kentucky fans, I think Tennessee has the best basketball fans.
Totally agree.
In the conference. I mean, Arkansas, I would probably put it up there right with, but it's much better than Florida, which has had it's had greater moments, greater highs. But
hey, Griff, do you think this is a byproduct of something you and I have talked about off the air, which is the fan-player relationship? The player and the sport relationship's never been stranger. It's pickup-esque what's going on. And somebody made a great point the other night on the post game that I was listening to that Alex did a great job. Alex Myers did the show and did a wonderful job. He and Matt, it was terrific. But one thing a caller said, which is even Estrella, who you would look at on paper and say is a returning player, has played so little. Akpara, who you call a veteran, was a one-year transfer guy in. He's not a multi-year guy in your program. Phillips, you would look at in years past and you'd say, yeah, he's a nice young player as well. But this is a brand new basketball team with brand new tendencies, with a brand new personality.
And every year it's going to be brand new.
And every year, Mark, I wonder if that's part of this as well, the way we feel.
Well, you just can't get connected to the guys. You know, one thing that I love being in East Tennessee, watching the news, different broadcasts, you know, they're interviewing guys. You get to know some personal notes, and that really means a lot to learn about guys' background, what their interest is off the court, their character kids, maybe what they're majoring in, if they're going to stick around for a while. But you're right, it's now rent a jersey. I mean, you're renting a jersey for a year, and you're either one and done, or you're going to the highest bidder, and it's rare that people will stay for a second year, or even third, and much less. I mean, it'd be interesting, and Brian could probably look this up. Even in the SEC, how many fourth-year seniors, not fifth-year seniors, where you redshirted and came from another program, but I'd like to know how many players in the SEC, we'll just use that as a trial, have started their career at a program and finished or completing their eligibility at the same program. It's got to be so rare. And I remember, Tony, when I hate to go back in the day, but even when I finished up my senior year, we had 5 seniors, and we only had 1 transfer. Clarence Swearingen came from Murray State. But everybody else stuck it out 4 years, and that's a bond. And it's a bond that, you know, you can take and have taken with most of these guys that are still here over the years. And now I'm just curious, like you mentioned Okpara. Let's just use him. You know, started off at Ohio State, here now. You know, what bond does he build with his teammates when he's out of school? Does he hang out with his Ohio State players? Does he go to reunion in Columbus, or does he come here? What does he call home? I mean, there's a lot to it after basketball that it's in its infancy stage now that we don't really look at for down the road, but I think it's really going to hurt these young men down the road because they haven't really built intimate relationships that are going to last a lifetime. And if they have, it's very few.
Matt, why is our fan base so bumming on a team that's going to win 22 or 23 games? Explain that to me. Because a guy in West Tennessee said that the other night, and it's been bothering me ever since.
Because they're not as good as the previous 2 teams that went to the Elite Eight. For a lot of the reasons that Griff just said, you lost a ton of great players. And I just think fans always kind of look for the potential of teams instead of kind of who they are, or maybe like the floor. And when you have a guy like Ament and you have a guy like Gillespie who has shown flashes of playing high-level ball and really is a high-level point guard, even with some of the flaws, that you just have such a high standard there that Barnes has created with how successful he's been, that there's just almost nothing to talk about positive-wise, because you kind of expect it and you only are kind of looking for the negatives or looking for things to criticize when it doesn't go well.
I just think it has to do so much with Tennessee because it's an established program that's had a lot of success in some ways, but it hasn't excelled in March, and it's never been to a Final Four.
But that's not these kids didn't do that.
I know, but fans view the team through that lens.
I know, through
a historical lens, and I think that's a factor in it. But see, there's another way to look at this team.
Yeah.
When I look at this team, instead of fans that follow a team closely, and media too, can just what can't this team do? Why will this team fail in the NCAA tournament?
That's what they're doing.
What's going to pull it under and drown it in the NCAA tournament? But I look at it, you've got 2 really, really high-powered offensive players in Ament and Gillespie that could carry a team through an NCAA tournament. And then if J.P. Estrella plays well and some other guys come through, Tennessee also, another thing I like about it's really good at rebounding. It's really good at that.
Thank you. Now, here's the thing, Griff. I evoked Pat Summitt yesterday because she told me, we were talking one time, and she says to me, let me tell you something about rebounding. It's just wanting to. She said, I've told you could be a marginal athlete and you can rebound. You get yourself in position. You fend off the other person. You understand space a little bit, but you have to be in position. You have to care to rebound the basketball. This team shows me night in and night out, Mark, with those rebounding numbers, particularly those offensive rebounding numbers that are just insane, that they highly care, that they play very hard, Mark. But yet our fans are only looking for the flaws in this team. Not, damn, we just killed somebody on the boards again. We outwork everybody. Our fans, for whatever reason, don't look at this team like that, Griff.
Well, I think there's some tendency to look at the areas of improvement, though, and I do think, yes, you can appreciate. I think you just call out more of the areas of need. Everyone has their own personal scouting report. I mean, with social media now, with so many games like John alluded to, you get to watch this team more and more, and you kind of pick up tendencies and strengths, and like I said before, areas of improvement. But this is not unique just to Tennessee fans. We make it like it's not happening anywhere else. I guarantee you today in Houston, Texas, on the talk shows, people are going nuts because Houston pulled a Tennessee last night and didn't rebound a key rebound to Iowa State. And Iowa State pulls out a fantastic victory against Houston, who I still feel is going to win a national championship. But after watching last night, I'm questioning Houston, and they've got 4 NBA players, and their 5th player is Sharp, who's their brightest player and most seasoned player on the team.
Well, Matt, I got a text from a friend of mine last night, and he was watching that game, and he said, how in the hell did we beat that Houston team? And I said, are you kidding? How do we beat? We're going to win 22 or 23 games. What do you mean, how did we beat them? Like it's an outlier, Matt. Why is our fan base so down on this team? And by the way, I'm kind of down on them too. So it's just odd. Why are we so down on this team? Like John said, this Ament guy has the ability to be as good as anybody in the tournament at the end of the year. And the great Maury Hanks, who's listening to us right now, told me one time, if you have one of those guys, you got a chance to cut the nets down. For years and years, we'd go into the tournament without one of those guys. When you have one of those guys, you have a chance to cut the nets down. If you don't have one of those guys, you really, really, at the end of the day, your ceiling is capped in the NCAA tournament. And it is about to be tournament time. So I think we all need a pep talk here. Matt, is that not correct? Is that not correct, that when you have one of these guys, you have a chance?
Yeah, you always have a chance. I mean, you'd kind of prefer it to be a more of a veteran type player. But again, those guys that you're talking about don't necessarily stay around in college more than a year either. So unless you have that Dalton Connect type, a Nate Ament's about as good as you can get as far as a guy that can take over a tournament or at least win a game or two for you. You have to have that. You have to have good guard play. Tennessee kind of has that with Gillespie. There's some pieces that give you hope. It's just there's also just those kind of inherent flaws that are what we tend to talk about on the post game shows. Unfortunately,
I think you also see in the NCAA tournament, you see a lot of superstars that play like superstars in the tournament, and is a big factor. The best players are at their best, but you see with a lot of teams, a player who's been okay and pretty good and plays at a higher level in the tournament. And you get that combination. And I just think Tennessee has some guys that maybe could do that.
Estrella could certainly do that.
Well,
he's got great ability.
Yeah.
He could certainly do that. John, for a couple games, shoot you through a round like he did the other night, get hot. Really?
And there are other guys. There are just a lot of different type players on this team.
Yeah.
And you really what you need kind of one more. You go through an NCAA tournament, every game you got that third guy. You know you get what you can get from Ament and Gillespie. And if they're going to give you 40-plus points if they're at their best, top of the game, shooting well. And then you get that third guy, and then you rebound like crazy, and you shoot your free throws better and protect the ball better.
Mark, what do you think? Because this team is a little maddening, right? That's a true statement. A guy just said in the YouTube comments that they don't do basketball IQ things at times. It's true. But that's the whole sport, though, isn't it, right now in this era, Mark?
Well, I think, you guys bring up some great points. I think one of the keys, and John, you nailed it, and it's funny because I know you weren't at the Big Orange Tip-Off Club yesterday. Buzz Peterson spoke, and we have talked about this in the past, but he alluded to the same thing. You got to have that third scorer, third player that's going to step up. Two players is great, and of course, we're taking for granted that our two great players, in Gillespie and Amen, are going to play well. But let's say one of them doesn't. You got to have someone step it up, and that's going to be a key. It's promising to see someone like, I call him Iceberg. He thawed out a little bit the other night. I think he got 18 minutes, played really well. And I think game in and game out, you're going to have someone that's going to step up to play. The problem is how long is your leash for someone that's not normally out on the court more than 25 minutes? And that's very rare for that third player to get that time, to get the confidence, get the production, game in, game out. You haven't seen that. Yeah. And that's what I think, to me, is the most frustrating, is I'm always looking at, you stop those two, you're done. I don't care how well you read. You don't get that third consistent player, or at least third player that's going to step up. It's going to be a short postseason. But, Tony, I don't feel what you're feeling. I'm not on the air every day like you are, but when you're looking at Tennessee now, they're tied for third in the SEC. Exactly. If they can finish in the top four, going into Nashville, they have a double bye into the tournament. That is a great position to rest. I think it's 4 weeks from today. I may not be exactly sure, but it's probably 4 weeks. So, these guys get to rest an extra game. They're getting ready for the postseason tournament. They got a big game tomorrow night, take care of business against Oklahoma, and then, move on to Nashville. I know there's a lot of naysayers, and I'm not looking forward to Memorial Madness either, but anything can happen. Anything can happen. You just got to just keep getting better every day in practice, Tony.
Explain to me this, guys. How could Oklahoma let their basketball team go with the tradition they have in that sport, dating back to the old Big 8 days? I wrote this in the blog today. That Oklahoma thing, they're unsightly. They're borderline unwatchable. That's a guy that beat us in March with a quarter of the budget. That's one of those, what in the hell is going on here moments. Now, obviously, we were missing our center for that game, and it's just Tennessee history, Tennessee basketball history. It's just the way that cookies always crumbled on us in that thing for whatever reason. How can anybody explain to me how Porter Moser could end up here? John, can you they are unfreaking watchable.
Yeah, and Oklahoma has great basketball tradition. They've had a lot of good teams go through there, and a lot of good players. One of the things, because the SEC, I look back at the SEC last year, it was historical. What was it, 14 teams were in? That's probably never going to happen in the sport again. It'd be hard to.
Yes.
But this year, when I look at the SEC, and that's what I don't watch a lot of college basketball outside the SEC. I just see a lot of talented players in the SEC. A lot of kind of players that could just carry a team in a tournament run. And then I look around. I've watched a little of the other teams and the top teams in college basketball. Golly, I think there are more great players in college basketball right now than there have been in a long time.
John, this freshman class, they're saying, is generational.
But, think about
generational.
I'm really looking forward to this NCAA tournament. Because I think you're going to see some incredible performances, individual and
Hey, Tony.
team.
Go ahead,
Speaking of the freshmen, Tony,
Yep.
I saw something recently. The lottery picks top 14, and 12 of the top 14 picks as of just a few weeks ago are looked at going to freshmen. That tells you how strong this freshman class is.
In other words, not international players.
That's hard to believe.
Because generally, lately, it's been international guys and then a college kid every once in a while. You know, when you say 12 of the 14 are currently playing in major college basketball, the other thing about, like, somebody was just talking about Oklahoma's offensive numbers, and he's right. Like, they score. Their efficiency numbers are off the charts. They don't defend at all. Matt, you watch Oklahoma play. Do they even try on defense? I mean, they don't even try.
Not really. They don't have some lockdown scheme. No, they don't. They don't have any rim protection. No, they don't. They're just not. He's gone all in offensively this year, especially.
Is he going to get fired, you think, after this year?
Yeah, he's done.
If they care enough, yeah.
Yeah, another thing too, I looked into Porter Moser, and of course Tennessee fans from back in the day will remember him because he was with Loyola Chicago back in 2018 and took them on their Final Four run, and that kind of propelled his career. He's in his fifth season at Oklahoma. All he has for it is a first-round loss in the NCAA tournament last year.
Or he was going to get fired last year.
And went to the second round in NIT in 2022, and it's his fifth year. And that usually your fifth year is your make-or-break year. So you're right, John. I think he's on a short leash, depending on how they finish up. And another thing we talk about, transfer portal, I don't know any of their players except two. I mean, no inside presence whatsoever except, Darion Reed transferred from Alabama. Good athlete, but he's not going to be an All-American, and I don't know if he'll be drafted down the road or not. But, Tony, I know you love St. Joseph, with Xavier R. Brown, very explosive player.
The X-Man.
Great free throw shooter, shooting over 90%. Mm-hmm. And then Nigel Pack, if you remember that name, from the team was in on him when he transferred from Kansas State. He went to Miami and led them to the Final Four in 2023. So they've got two good guards, but outside of that, they don't match up like an Amen and a Gillespie type of good players, but they're their best players. But that's all they have. You stop one of them, and they're done.
Hey, Griff, when you say Nigel Pack, that reminds me of one of your old neighborhood buddies, Pac-Man Jones, back in your Nashville days. Shout out to Pac-Man Jones and Mr. Jones.
I wonder about Oklahoma because I think of Oklahoma as having money. They got some oil wells in Oklahoma.
They've got a great women's team they're spending money on. They've got a great softball team they spend money on, women's softball. Their football program, obviously, is moneyed to the hilt. They don't really try in baseball, but they're okay. Basketball is a sport that, back in the day, man, even going back to the guy at Indiana that couldn't stay off the telephone, who's now at Houston, going back to his days. Yeah, Kelvin Sampson. They had very good teams when Kelvin Sampson was there. It's weird.
Yeah.
How could Porter Moser do that little there after beating us and making a name for himself?
I go back to Billy Tubbs there.
I love Billy Tubbs.
He went there from Lamar.
Yes.
And I covered that team throughout an NCAA tournament run and lost to Danny Manning in Kansas in a rematch.
That was awesome.
Mookie Blaylock.
Yes.
Mookie Blaylock.
Stacey King.
Love
that team. Harvey Grant. I love that team.
Who else? There was another.
There were
Ricky Grace.
I love Ricky Grace. They were awesome. And they used to do that thing, Griff, when they made a foul shot, they would cross their legs, and then they would cross their legs. All the guys on the bench would do a thing with their legs where when a foul shot went through.
I remember being in a it was a Final Four, and they were having a press conference, but a couple of days.
Yeah.
Right. I guess it was before the tournament started.
Yeah.
And Oklahoma was up, so they were waiting. They were waiting to line. And I just happened to look in the back of the room, and I think it was Stacey King that was stretched out on 3 chairs, just like he was taking a nap.
Yeah.
I mean, that bunch was so loose, and Billy Tubbs was so much fun.
I love Billy Tubbs.
Wayman Tisdale.
Oh, Wayman
God,
Tisdale.
I love Wayman Tisdale.
Good gosh.
Great history, man.
So why it doesn't make sense to me. I just wonder if they're not supporting. Why can't they get players? I mean, if you.
Well, somebody in our chat said, which I didn't realize, they're getting ready to shut the door on the Noble Arena, and they're getting ready to build a new place. And maybe that's the thing.
It caught on fire the other day.
That's right. That's right. During the Georgia game, they were on fire on offense, and they had a popcorn popper catch fire. That's one of the craziest looking things you'll ever see at a sporting event.
Yeah, so he is on the hot seat then. Yeah, he's absolutely on the hot seat.
I mean, that's a real hot seat, Matt. You're right. Blowtorch coming out.
I think that's what popped into Moser's head when he heard there's a fire.
Thank God there was only like 100 people at the game, John. Can you imagine the injuries they would have had if that. Did you see the video? Did you guys see the video of that? Oh, it's wild.
So they're not drawing either. They're not drawing.
Why would they go see a team that doesn't? No.
But you know what? Tennessee fans support bad teams sometimes.
The best basketball fan base. Kentucky really celebrates the sport. I got to give it to them. Like I said that both nights that we got swept by Kentucky. I'm like, look, first of all, 2 things I know. Your team is mid. My team is pissing me off. And you all are great fans. Because they really do celebrate the sport of college basketball. They love the game. However, we have put up with a lot of nonsense down through the years. And we have a great, incredible, awesome, phenomenal fan base. It is fantastic.
I mean, when they showed up for some of those Kevin O'Neill teams.
Unbelievable. 18 or 19,000 people at those games. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
When you know your team might not score 45 points.
And they would stay, a couple thousand people would stay afterwards and would sit there and watch him do his post-game show.
Well, that did have some entertainment value.
So we're going to hey, Griff, I want some thoughts from you on the other side on where this team goes to take the next step, because not only do you have the Oklahoma game on Wednesday, but you have a matinee affair in Nashville against a Vanderbilt team, Griff, that's pretty interesting. Hey, Vanderbilt's having a pretty good year in both women's and men's basketball right now. It looks like they made a really good hire in both sports. And Vanderbilt's athletic department, all of a sudden, Danny White, Dr. Danny, we're watching. They're cooking with grease right now. We'll talk to Griff as to what the challenge level is going to be for Tennessee when they go on the road with Vandy. We'll kind of look ahead, and we'll continue. It is the Marky Mark and the Lunchy Bunch Happy Time Hoops Hour. More after this. Are you currently a residential electrician? Would you like more benefits, better pay, more upside? What about a $3,000 signing bonus? Free company paid health insurance, annual profit share, company vehicle, gas card, much more. Call Advent Electric today. Advent, known for their large commercial jobs around town, and due to high demand, they're adding additional roles for their residential department. Maybe you know a friend, family member that's a residential electrician. Spread the word. Email hr@adventelectric.com. hr@adventelectric.com. 865-588-0631 and ask for the Tony B 3K signing bonus. Advent Electric is hiring. You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land. Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contract. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold, refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a 2-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care. I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called the Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Basilio here with my buddy, Connexio Kristen.
Hey, Tony. Good to see ya. Connexio builds fleet technology that helps transportation and logistics companies win big. Live GPS, easy ELD and compliance tools, AI dash cameras, and asset tracking, all backed by the .1 U.S. customer support team. Want a better playbook for your operations? Visit Connexio.com/Tony. That's KONEXIAL.com/Tony. Connexio, built for drivers, trusted by fleets, and proud Vol fans.
Tony Basilio here, and I got the great Chad Stockton of FC Alliance 2026. Chad, do you believe we've made it?
Boys and girls teams start off the new year at big national event showcases. We got our younger kids training indoors and doing a lot of things to get better. So we're excited about what the future holds.
Chad, I hear the juice behind you. I hear the kids. Your program reaches throughout East Tennessee. If folks want to get involved, what's the advice?
We're easy to get in touch with. We offer players at all ages, all levels, all experience. We have a program for all of our kids that we have, and we're excited for anyone to join us.
And even some Lady Vols as well. Several college players all over the country, yes?
Absolutely. We had a lot of girls that we were able to watch play in the NCAA tournament. A lot of our former players made big runs through the tournament. We're so excited for them.
Growing the beautiful game. In this, the year of the World Cup in North America, celebrate the beautiful game. Get your child involved. FCAllianceKnox.org. That's FCAllianceKnox.org. And Chad, thank you, man. Keep growing the beautiful game.
Absolutely, Tony, and thank you very much.
Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good.
From the sunrise over the Smokies to the Saturday cheers at Neyland Stadium, Knoxville isn't just where we live, it's home. But let's be honest, finding your perfect spot in a hot market can feel like a full-time job. Whether you're looking for a Craftsman in 4th and Gill, a family home in Farragut, or a view in South Knox, the market moves fast. You need more than a listing. You need an edge. And that's where I come in, Jennifer Morris with Keller Williams Realty. And I specialize in helping Knoxville buyers win. I don't just find houses, I find the right fit for your budget and your lifestyle. Ready to unlock your front door? Visit nextmovesmokymountains.com or call me at 865-694-5904. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com. And as always, go Vols.
Jennifer Morris is the absolute greatest intercontinental champion of all time. I love her.
I had lunch with her yesterday.
She presents the great John Adams. John Adams presented by Jennifer Morris. John came in here and so distracted me with our personal conversation that I've been off my game all day today. Jennifer, I love you. I appreciate you. I thank you. You're an advocate. You are for the living fan, of the living fan, and by the living fan. And she's at nextmovesmokymountains.com. And she is a straight up sports lover and ball knower. Doesn't matter what season, any reason, the great Jennifer Morris. You bow thy head when you say thy name. Griff, it's time of the year we start thinking about the NCAA tournament. We wait all year for this. It's like a 3-week sprint to the finish here. So give me the lay of the land here, Griff. What's the lay of the land? What seed are the Vols looking like in your mind? Let's go through this here. Let's break it down scientifically. And what's my boy Stephen F. and Pearl got to do to right the ship here?
Well, as you know, I really love Joe Lenardi. He spoke at the Big Orange Tip-Off Club last year. Such a great guy. And Tony, I think he's from Philly. You're part of the neck of the woods. He's a Philly boy. But just very personable person. And when you look at the history of him choosing correctly, I want to say it's 98, 99%. It's unbelievable. And even getting the teams on the right lines as far as their seeding is just incredible. So I do follow that. He updates several times a week, and I study it because I hear people all the time will tell me, man, Tennessee's just got to get to a 4 seed. They'll be great. They just get to a 4. Then I always ask that individual, like, well, you realize there's probably 7 teams they've got to jump in front of because they're right now projected a 6, Tony. But let's take a look here just for fun and for the fans here. If you're really, following and see the importance of a 6 to a 4, and if you do a little history, the 5 versus the 12 for everyone that fills out the brackets, that's the seed that you get the most upsets. It's the 5 versus 12. So does Tennessee want to be on the 5 line? The 5 line right now is Louisville, Virginia, St. John's, and Arkansas. So they're going to have to lose. 4 seed, which is a stretch, Vanderbilt, Nebraska, Bama, Michigan State. Now, the good news for Tennessee, you got Vanderbilt twice, home and away. You've got Bama at home. So there can be a lot of movement between now and the second week of March. So that, if you think the fans are complaining now, this could really change a lot, guys, in the next several weeks. SEC's got 10 teams listed right now to make the tournament. Missouri is the first team out, or they call it the first 4 out. And I'm no guru or anything, but I did look up Missouri's remaining schedule and Georgia. And I'm bigger on Missouri flipping with Georgia and Georgia not making it. Georgia's one of the last 4 byes, so they're one of the bubble teams. But Missouri just has a more favorable schedule remaining than what Georgia does. We'll see. but I think it'll be fun, and it gives fans something a little extra to look out for. Here in the next several weeks, but we'll know more even after tonight.
Griff, I'm more of a computer ranking guy. I kind of follow the Torviks of the world and what seed line they have the Vols on. But it's a big world out there, and the whole bracketology thing is there's a lot of people just kind of do it in their basement, which is really kind of comical. But at any rate, it is interesting how close a lot of these teams are, how they lay one on top of the other. Let's talk about Vanderbilt. We've got 2 games upcoming with them. Obviously, at the very worst, you want to split those 2 games. At the very worst. Tell me about that matchup with Vanderbilt and how you see this thing.
Well, I watched a lot of Vanderbilt games and know many people that are huge followers of the program. Tony, you're obviously good friends with George Plaster, who's a Vandy Sheep. So you hear a lot from him. Most improved player in the SEC, maybe one of the top 2 or 3 most improved players in the country is Ty Tanner out of Brentwood Academy. I mean, that's one thing. The only thing Jerry Stackhouse did well besides dress, according to some, was keep him on the team because he recruited him, and Ty Tanner stayed locally. And he didn't get a lot of offers, guys. He is incredible. Matter of fact, I read something about him that last year, pre-SEC, which is around 12 games, he did not have a turnover. It's incredible. I mean, it doesn't even make sense. Just really, you're talking about a leader and someone that I love watching is him. And then the players as a whole, I've never seen a team in the SEC play as loose or as much freedom as. Sorry?
Go ahead, Mark. Go ahead. I was talking to John. Go ahead.
Okay, well, and then, but the interesting thing is injuries. You got Duke Miles transfer from Oklahoma, has had a great season at Vanderbilt, but he's been, had some injuries which have slowed him down. If he doesn't play, and I don't know what the status is for him this week, I mean, that's obviously going to help Tennessee. Vanderbilt's been going are going deeper in their bench than they have in the past, but they've got this Tyler Nickel kid that's transferred from Carolina a couple years ago, just playing. He's an outstanding shooter, just can't leave him open. And I know you guys will talk more about Vanderbilt down the road, but one of the things they lack in is rebounding. They are not a good rebounding team. When they had the 4-game skid,
beat up.
Or maybe it was 3-game skid. I know they lost 3 or 4 in a row. They were out rebounded double digits. Yeah. So if you're going to get to Vanderbilt, and what does Tennessee do best in the country? They're 3rd in the country in rebounding. So that offsets that. So I think that's a huge advantage for Tennessee. But I mean, I'll be at that game, and I'll be cautiously optimistic. It's just going to be a crazy game this weekend. But you're right. If Tennessee can just split, I think that would be great. Of course, as a fan, we want them to win every game. But with Tennessee's remaining schedule, don't overlook that Missouri game on the road. That's my game. Could be a really tough game.
I agree with
that. The 9 o'clock game as well.
Yep.
Eastern. Mark Mitchell, fantastic player for Missouri. Coach Gates has had a great turnaround as far as his tenure there at Missouri.
And they have loud wins.
Put together a formidable squad of, once again, transfers.
What they're not, what Missouri isn't, they're not consistent night in and night out, but they get up for big games. They have some loud wins.
Well, Mark talked about Vanderbilt playing loose. Missouri can play pretty loose too.
Oh, yeah.
They can
that's their whole game.
They can handle pressure. They're just out there playing, man.
Yeah, and it's some nights it works, some nights they get hammered, some nights it works. So,
well, Mark brought up about Vanderbilt's point guard and Duke Miles. Mark's mentioned Duke Miles. So we were talking earlier about Oklahoma. How does Vanderbilt get a guy away from Oklahoma?
That's the point.
Yeah, that shouldn't happen, should it?
If a coach is doing his job, no. Because your NIL, they obviously don't believe in him. They shouldn't have brought him back for another year. He made the tournament. You got to feel like you got to bring a guy back. And here's so Matt, what do you think? Mark's assessment of Vanderbilt. What do you make of it?
Yeah, no, they're a really unique team with some really good guards. Obviously, they just don't have a lot of size and can't do anything inside. Then that's where Tennessee's got to have a huge advantage in that game. I'm not sure it's a great matchup for Tennessee's guards on the perimeter. They can space the floor pretty well. They got a deadly 3-point shooter that you can't help off of, which at times, Tennessee does a little too much. So I'm with Griff. If you can split those, I'd take that now because, like I said, I'd like those. Those could be like the Florida games last year, where each team kind of wins by 20 on their home court. Like I'm really kind of fascinated to see that play out because it's kind of a strength on weakness for both teams in a lot of areas.
And it's all
Mark
coming,
Hugon Vanderbilt could guard a Mint. And how much success do you think is that a game a Mint could go off at?
Well, they have a really good athlete, believe it or not, that was a walk-on when he started his career. I think he went to Cornell. Okereke, I think his name is.
Yeah,
he's from California. He's a senior, 6'7", great athlete. He's built like Dennis Rodman. I think that's the kind of guy that will put on a Mint. He's not looked to score as much. His role has mainly been defend, get a few rebounds a game, but he's 6'7", but he weighs around 240 to 250. I think that's the matchup you'll see. They've got another big kid, Jalen Washington, but he's 6'10". He's going to play more interior. And then McLaughlin, I mean, Ament would just blow by him, but I really like Devin McLaughlin. You guys will really love watching him play. He's 6'7", big guy. But he'll step out and shoot threes. And they're having more of a deeper bench now than they did starting off the season. One other injury, Frankie Collins is one of their top transfers as well, fourth team and 4-year guy. But he's been out the whole season. But they've had a kid named Bing that they bring in off the bench, is getting a lot more minutes. And he's a freshman. And is really improved. So they're running a lot more combinations. Guys getting, more minutes, a lot more depth, which has really helped them.
Hey, Mark, a guy's a hell of a coach. He grows his team as the season goes along. He did it last year. The guy does a nice job, man. It's a really good hire by them.
Yeah, and not a lot of people knew who he was. Tony, I mean, we know a lot of people, a lot of coaches, and guys that were assistants at great programs. I must say, I didn't know anything about Byerton. I didn't even know how to pronounce his name. And now he's going to be a household name. He's going to be a hot commodity after this season if he decides to stay.
Yep.
But he's going to be one of those guys that you're going to hear about with openings. You're hearing about Kansas State now opening.
Yep.
And who all's going to be involved. And I just think Byerton's going to be a guy that's going to get a lot of phone calls because of his style, the way he handles himself on the sideline. I've seen him in Nashville a couple times in person and just well-mannered and just seems like a really great human being that a lot of these kids want to play for.
And that's half the battle. Guy listening to us is in the industry, said that Oklahoma has a really bad facility. They have poor fan support. They have an average NIL in the sport. In fact, he said they're bottom 1/4 of the SEC in NIL right now on their roster. Bottom 1/4 in the league
in basketball.
And he says in hoops, really, they've never drawn. They've really, even in their great years, they're a program that the coaches overachieved commensurate with the fan support. And they've played in final games. I mean, and we here draw 20,000 a night for Kevin O'Neal basket. I mean, in Buzz Peterson's years, we draw Jed Ball. Jed Ball got